Hey, so we're gonna go do a playthrough video of Brushstrokes off of Figure. Now this song is pretty drum intensive. It's sort of the main moving idea through the song. Other ideas come in and out, but when Evan came to me with this more sparse idea, it was sort of either like fill the space with drums or commit to a more sparse song idea, which we've done other times in the writing process. So this one, like I say, the drums kind of move a lot throughout the song, and then they're mostly linear also, and the sticking pattern doesn't change very much through the whole song. Just the bridge and fills are really the only time that it changes from the hand-to-hand part. I'm gonna go ahead and play the song, and then we'll talk about the parts afterwards.
Brushstrokes, the sound of the detail, the more they take a shape of their own. Well, you're a promising painting next to the hearts that are waiting at a fresh coat to creatures of comfort. And we'd be lying if we thought this would look alright. We can wait, we can trade this all for shabby nights.
Okay, that song is a workout. Like I was saying before, it's linear sort of top to bottom. And the idea of linear drumming is basically that no two voices on the kit are going to touch at the same time. So like playing, there's a few parts in that wouldn't be considered linear. You could play that as, or, that would be more on the linear side of things. And there's obviously a lot of different ways to apply that. Josh Sparks is kind of the one who introduced me to that. Into It Over is not the first band that I took Josh's spot in. There was another band before called Recreational Drugs, and an unreleased Rec Drug song was sort of written right after Josh and I had gotten in this room we're in right now. And we're bouncing ideas off of each other, and he really like lit a fire under me thinking about all this linear drumming stuff. So that was, to me, like a really, it's hard to find moments where like you feel like you're unlocking a key to another thing, and that writing process for that song, I don't think it overlapped at all with me writing for Into It Over It. it may have, but this song is a direct descendant of me and Josh hanging out in this room talking about linear drumming. Required reading off of standards is another example of a lot of linear drumming. Obviously, there's some exceptions made, like hitting a cymbal, a crash cymbal without a kick drum sounds like really, really weird. Generally a no-go with songs, so those are exceptions made. Some fills are exceptions made. But getting down to the actual part writing, this song was written, the middle section of the song was what was written first. So that was sort of like the beginning idea. And it took me a long time to like make all the parts fit and make everything make sense. And so then to take that back, it takes that exact same sticking pattern and puts it on the rims. So that's the whole intro of the song. And so it just builds and adds details as it goes on. So that's that part of it. Once Evan's vocals come in, it just adds those floor tom hits right at the end. You'll have to excuse the second floor tom. I just got this. I didn't use this writing this record. I'll be figuring out how to use it in the live shows, though. Same idea, just adding in those floor tom hits. Then once it like sort of opens up and that acoustic guitar melody comes in, it gets to the part how I wrote it, which adds in the toms and the motion, which actually makes this easier to play in my brain because there's extra motion in your arms. So that is... really hard. It's just 16th notes, picking gaps there. The rim hits there sort of become the catalyst for more change later on in the song. So once the vocals kick back in, the change is that on the A side of the phrase, it gets added as bell hits. So thing to add a little bit more motion to the song. That takes you to the fill into the bridge, which was just, Evan was like, okay, come on, let's figure out a way to keep this moving. And then this thing shows up a few more times in the song, but a way to sort of just bring it back to a more straight ahead thing. Good example of another just linear drum beat. Very few overlapping things, but that works as a fill into the bridge, which is, I actually borrowed this part for a Max Stern song later on. It's just red knocks on the drum beats with 16th notes on the right hand, triples, sort of a bounce thing, I guess. So pretty common thing to use. It's less so, I suppose, in rock and indie music, that like triple bounce thing, but that's a really, putting that accent down and letting the stick do the work off of the cymbal. That's a relatively traditional technique. So that gets us back to the end of the song, just as crash is building into it. And so again, the end of the song is the same idea, just instead of rims, everything's on the ride cymbal. The last fill is the dollars look all right. So the snare hits are supposed to match the vocal, and I couldn't really come up with a way to make this work with adding like flams and too many hits, and it's maybe a good thing for the songwriting process not to get too busy. So it's fill into the next part, crashes back out, and then you're out of the song. That is about it in terms of the part writing. I mean, this song was a really fun one for me to write, especially because it felt like a direct connection back to Josh's writing on the last record, which I was a huge fan of and continue to be a huge fan of. It's really fun to play all of those parts. So this felt like it was building off of maybe some of the required reading stuff, and was a real pleasure. I'm really glad this one made the record, and I hope you have all enjoyed this. Thanks so much.